right, so Rostermania is still in full effect. A lot to dive into, a lot to discuss. What's going on with TSM Design taking a step from DSG? What's going on over there? What's going on with E8? North American rosters are changing like crazy right now. Also, one team seems to have completely disbanded, and of course, that's going to open up the spot for one specific team to get back into Pro League. A lot to dive into and discuss in this one. And also, how did they perform on their first set of matches today? Firstly, wanted to make mention, Reps had commented, of course, the other day, very excited for Hal. Congrats, man, whatever. This guy has been playing with Hal for some time. We know, and we all love Reps. And he said, let's see if anyone can top first, second, first. I kind of thought, okay, well, that kind of seems like maybe he's not going to be involved in the scene because he's going to be watching, but that's not the case at all. So TSM had posted, well, who will inherit the throne? Then you had the conversation of Design. So I had heard, actually posted before this, that Design would be trialing with TSM. Then I deleted it because everybody told me he was only subbing, but then Verholz said, no, it is a trial. They were trialing Design, and then Design came out, oh, Verholz is just trolling. He's just baiting. Then, okay, never mind. We actually are trialing. So that's what's going on. Design basically came out to say he's always wanted to play with TSM. He's always wanted to play with these guys. And so this was an opportunity that he wanted to at least explore. So Design did play, and it looks like they're trying to use him as IGL, which obviously isn't a probably traditional role that I would have saw this going. I thought maybe TSM would go after an MNK style IGL person. Maybe Reps would step up as IGL. Of course, it might be a little weird because Reps is just not that type of a personality, right? So Design does have that IGL personality. Will he be the guy for TSM is the question. And is this TSM's replacement that they're looking for? Will they continue on, or let's take a look at how they actually played in the first set of scrims in just a bit. So Verholz did say, just want to mention this, that he and Reps would not be splitting up because it doesn't make any sense. Now we go into much more roster changes and the scrims last night. So firstly, you had to make mention of Shubi. Of course, yesterday we made mention of E8 making their roster change, and it looks like they're trying to get some offers going in this. Shubi came out to say he's potentially looking for a team if the boys get an offer. Then you had E8. Take a look at this, playing with Knoqd yesterday. Full circle after all of those years, all of the history with Cloud9, all of the hashtag justice for Knoqd. Now it's turning into justice for Shubi. A lot to dive into here, really, but Knoqd is a very big, Knoqd is someone that is a big asset to a team. I think a lot of people agree with that statement. And the idea of going back to E8, what a reunion that would be. Then you have the shuffle, of course, with TSM, Design, Verholz, and Reps. Then you had DSG, right? Design taking that step away. Well, who was DSG going to be playing with? Well, you had Timmy playing with Dropped and Shubi. Of course, Shubi makes a lot of sense. Dropped, I think, is going to be probably trying out a many of teams here in the next couple of days because he and Knoqd originally were going to stay together and try for a new third. Then when all of this broke open and broke loose, they seem to have split ways. And because of that, it's going to cancel out the Optic Gaming Pro League spot. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. So then you have SSG. Not really sure if Phony was just, out of pocket or what was going on. But, they dominated in yesterday's scrims. They did so good. They surpassed everybody. And of course, you can't just take it off of one set of scrims. They're going to want to see how everything falls into place. But they were playing with Slayer yesterday. This is Zainu, Slayer, and Koi. Can't imagine that Phony is not going to be involved here. But I also didn't see exactly what Phony was up to. So Slayer, I think, is going to find himself on a good team. I think he's going to be a big asset to one of these teams that are looking, maybe even a DSG slot. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, also wanted to mention Timmy. This is a little bit of a change here. But Design, obviously, formerly being the IGL there, Timmy is now saying he wants to step into a role of IGL. So this would be a little bit of a different I guess this would be a little bit of a different format for them to go in. Now, according to Fallout, DSG may have to buy Design out of his contract in order to go to TSM, as apparently he is still on contract. So interested to see how that one falls into place. And then also Timmy and DSG are good people, and I don't think they would hold Design back from a TSM opportunity. And Design would then join TSM, and DSG would be looking for one. And of course, it seems that they're already trying to trial and error that situation going on as we speak. Some other notable ones, still no word on Skittle. I think a lot of people were interested to see if Skittle may look to trial with TSM as well. Of course, Verholz and Skittle have a pretty well pass. Who would IGL that situation? Maybe Reps would have to step up in that one, but not sure what's going to happen. I guess at the end of the day, Knoqd and Dropped could come back at the end of the day to try to rekindle something. But of course, Frex also trialing with Oxygen. Reptar's been scrimming with Xset. Lux is also looking for a team for ALGS after this Optic thing fell through. I think Dropped and Knoqd were supposed to try out with Lux, and that just didn't happen because of all these other things opening up. Lux did find himself playing with a team yesterday. So let's talk about how these placements went down. So Oversight did their scrims yesterday. Complexity, which by the way, same roster, Lou, Kimchi, and Monsoon, first place. Dark Zero, which I'm calling them the Heatles at this point. This is the second place team. Of course, they got third place in the last scrim. It's not bad, right? It's a top 3. It's consistent. This is what you would expect out of this team. But I think a lot of people are expecting decimation, just pure out decimation and winning everything, not even close. And that's not happening, right? We're seeing that they're a good squad as expected, but they're not necessarily winning. They're not dominating. It's not, but of course, yeah, they're going to need more time. I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to say that they're not going to be successful. Not Moist in third, Elevate in fourth. Of course, Zach and Co, they're doing a great job with any roster that they seem to play with right now. Knoqd is probably going to fit in pretty well. NGNL in fifth, CCE in sixth. Then you got SSG in seventh, EC in eighth, Vanity in ninth, Cloud9 in 10th. Tripods in 11th, which by the way, Lux was playing with Tripods. Not sure what's going on with Onmu right now. Ape Gang in 12th, LG in 13th, Furia in 14th, Disguise with the new roster in 15th, TSM in 16th, Weave in 17th, Native in 18th, Yup in 19th, and Temper in 20th. So yeah, TSM unfortunately gonna have to cook a little bit longer if this Verhulst reps and design roster is gonna work out. And of course, it's just one set. You got to give them more time. And I imagine they're gonna keep scrimming and trialing with some other people as well. Disguised, honestly, same story, but it's going to take time. This is not going to be a Rome built in a day type situation. It's going to take some time. Now, another question that's been constantly coming up, Dark Zero. Are they going to be involved or what? What's going on? Why are they not publicly really aligning with Dark Zero in their tweets? Only in Oversight do they seem to be doing that. What's going on? Well, Hardeki and a lot of other people seem to be under the impression that this, Saudi Arabia money may be really coming in pretty deep, because many people wondering if Team Falcons may get in because the oil money in esports may be a bit. Now, of course, this is going on over on Reddit as well. It is kind of more of a conspiracy theory, I guess, but I do think with the Esports World Cup coming up, they may look to get involved. Dark Zero was not on that, list of teams that was announced as far as the organizations being represented, but the roster itself, of course, would be there. So which organization is going to be involved? Will it be Dark Zero? Will it be some Saudi Arabia team coming in? Will it be a North America team that we all know and love, like 100 Thieves or something, deciding to jump back in? Who knows, but time will tell. But this is a theory that a lot of people seem to have. Also had to mention this one. Not sure where this is going. Not sure if it's bait. But my goodness, would we love to see this. Asu had just posted yesterday that he has the chance to do the funniest thing right now. And how insane would it be to watch Asu come back and play after all of those years? Now, of course, Asu was never really a comp guru. He was never amazing at competitive. He was just a really good player, and he has so much mechanical skill. And I think probably anyone in the world could vouch that they want to see Asu play. Even if it's not the craziest thing since sliced bread, you want to see these creators get involved. How much more viewership, how much more hype would that bring into this? I would love to see it, to say the least. And I think a lot of people are, even as Timmy say, he's so back. Welcome to DSG, Asu. Could you imagine Timmy and Asu being on the same team? I would love to see him come back and play in the comp scene again as well. Now, we also got to mention, we made mention of Optic Gaming and their roster spot and their Pro League spot disbanding if all this stuff goes through. Well, just so you know, if that does happen, guess who's joining back in the Pro League? Right after the top 8 was announced, you had the first person to miss Pro League is Meat Lover. So that would open a spot, and instead of top 8, it would then go to top 9 from their Pro League qualifier final round. And so Meat Lovers would get the spot for Pro League after the Optic Gaming one was basically disbanded. Now, of course, that's all contingent on if a Pro League spot opens, and we are expecting it to with all the roster changes that are taking place. So Tech might be back into this. Of course, that would be a crazy one to say the least. And I want to see it. Really, honestly, I like Tech in Pro League. I think the storylines are good. And hopefully we will get that news and confirmation pretty soon. Also had to mention Realm did come back. They're coming back May the 20th officially for their solo queue league. We've talked about this, a lot more, I guess, content to indulge in over the next couple of weeks and months. Now, they also introduced this fantasy idea. People also came out to talk about the way that this is going to work and how it seems to be like backed by some sort of NFT stuff. And, you get get no profit based on them using your information. And a lot of people came out to say, while this is good to some degree, especially if you're tier 2, tier 3, or you're smaller guy, whatever, it would also insinuate that they could get some access to, I guess, a lot of the stuff for these tier 1 players, right? Like, Hal's not going to be a guy that allows his info to be sold for free or marketing for free or whatnot. So we've had a lot of people come out to say, like, hey, make sure you're getting what you're worth. Don't let people get free advertisement off of you if they're going to use you for that. So, you know, interesting stuff. They did also say that they're going to reword some stuff, you know, realign some of this stuff, but I'm just nonetheless excited to see Realm back, and hopefully we push this in the right direction and don't have any issues and drama like we had a couple of months back, or maybe even a year ago back whenever we originally had Realm. Also, I had to mention some critical dates just as we wrap it up. If you're a fan of ALGS, I put this out. Critical dates to be aware of if you're a fan and interested in Rostermania outcomes. Upcoming roster locks will solidify early rosters. And listen, this Thursday, 5/16, literally just tomorrow, is Esports World Cup qualifiers locked. So the people that are playing through the open qualifiers that did not get invited will have to roster lock that team. So I think that's going to give us a lot of maybe insight of what may happen with the ALGS. I think a lot of people are going to want to play with the same rosters, right? So you might have to make a decision pretty quick. And if you don't want to go with 2 different rosters, then Split 2 Pro League begins June 1st. And of course, this is where the action is going to get crazy and super important as well, as we look for Split 2 playoff spots and the location that we may be looking to go to as well. Obviously, we're assuming it's going to be Europe. We've heard a lot about this already, somewhere in the midst of September. So sometime in the late summer, early fall, we should be getting this next Split 2 LAN. And I'm hoping they announce it a little bit sooner so that we don't have any minor issues or major issues with travel or visas or anything like that. So interested to see what you guys are saying and thinking down in the comment section below. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.